Hey y'all, it's Chrissy Cook from Teadoddles. Today it's time for another monthly Roundup podcast. This goes along with my monthly Roundup on the blog, where just kind of a compilation of the things that happened in September. So that post actually went out on the 1st of October, but because I had an extra Saturday in September, I just kind of moved things a little bit just so it would line up like it should. But anyway, this podcast is actually going to probably be shorter than the ones I usually do, because I'm just going to kind of go through here. I'm going to show you a few things I talked about in the blog post, but most of that I'll talk about more in my other podcasts. Got Yarny Goodness coming up next week, then Fabric Obsessed, of course DIY and Thrifty Fun. So I would like to welcome any new subscribers, and thank you for coming back to all subscribers. I really appreciate that. Today, let's see, I have a long weekend this weekend, so I am recording this a little bit earlier on a Friday than I usually get to, because I did not have a class today. They're out for, well, Monday is Columbus Day, and they're out this Friday and Monday. They're calling it their fall break. But that's only at the high school I teach at. Then the college I teach for and at, they're out Monday and Tuesday for the holiday. So I don't have a class again until Tuesday afternoon. So I'm enjoying my long weekend because I have lots of things to do and sew and make and crochet. So I actually took the day off today, well, Friday and Monday off from the blog as well. So if you're a subscriber to my newsletter, you'll have gotten an email by the time this posts letting you know that. I have some things I need to do on the blog to update some things, and I want to do a new theme. It's like the style of the blog, I guess. And that takes some time to do, and I may or may not get that done over this weekend. I don't know, but it's something I want to start doing, so I can update some things. So yeah, there will be no blog posts Friday or Monday, so I'll be back Wednesday. Hopefully, maybe I'll be ahead of things by then. So yeah, I don't have blog posts planned out months ahead of time normally. It's usually at the last minute, and that's not always a good thing. But anyway, that's why this podcast is going to be a little shorter. I'm just going to run through the stuff that was in the monthly roundup on the blog. I did at least put on some makeup before I started doing this. I did not fix my hair. It's just kind of there because I've just been chilling out in one of my new t-shirts from Sense of Style. This one says Maker's Gonna Make, and my mushroom leggings that I made. So that is the kind of uniform that I will be wearing this weekend, so I can get stuff done, right? It's the most comfortable thing to wear. I do have a family reunion on Sunday, so I'll have to put on some regular clothes, and a doctor's appointment Monday afternoon, so I will have to put some regular clothes on then. But otherwise, I'm going to be chilling out in this sort of outfit all weekend long, making and making and making. So I'm excited about that. I've also, I didn't mean to shake you around, sorry. Working on my 3rd cup of coffee today, y'all. I always like when I have the day off and stuff, because I can drink all the coffee I want. I can't drink too much coffee during the week because sometimes it keeps me from sleeping. Sometimes I go right to sleep. It just depends. I never know what it's gonna be. So I just have to kind of not do that during the week, so that I don't risk staying up more than I normally do at night, because I don't sleep very much. So anywho, let's get on with this since I'm just rambling on. It's going to be longer than I said it is, just because I keep talking so much. I'm going to set this over here. a lovely mauve blind in this room. This has been in my house since I moved in here, which is longer ago than I want to admit. And it's still here. I don't like it, but it covers the window, so it works for now. Maybe one day I'll get to change that. So I'm looking at my computer over here, so if you see me looking over here, I'm just looking at the blog post so I don't miss something. Okay, so I always start off my blog post just with blog news, and I like to let you know, welcome any new subscribers and let y'all know that if you are subscribed to my newsletter on the blog, you get a secret password to free coloring sheets, and those are hand drawn by me. I hand drawn with pencil, and then I go over them with a permanent marker, and I erase everything, and then I scan them in and all that stuff. So all those are hand drawn by me. I haven't put a new one up in a little bit. That's another thing I'm hoping to get done this weekend. So yeah, if you're a subscriber to the newsletter, you get access to those and you can print them out. I've done a couple of blog posts where I've shown how you can use them other than just as coloring sheets. So that's just a little perk for being subscribed to my blog. So then I talked about why I moved the blog post from the last Monday to the first Monday of October, just because of that 5th Saturday in there. It just kind of threw things off. So that'll be straight until we get into, I think it's December before we have another 5th Saturday. I can't remember, but it'll be straight until it happens again. I added a tab on my blog for podcast show notes, and I do try to do those for my regular podcast on Saturday. I don't really do show notes for the tutorial Tuesday videos I do. I usually just link to my favorites, my shop my favorites page on the blog. But if you see something in a video that you want to know where I got it from or something, just ask me, I'll let you know. I try to link to anything if I can remember to do that. And so for like this podcast, I won't do show notes. I'll just link to my blog post that I've already done, because it'll have all the links to anything I talk about, and plus other links. And you can peek at it and see what's upcoming, maybe upcoming for future Yarny Goodness and Fabric Obsessed and DIY podcasts, because I usually put in there anything I've gotten that hasn't been in the podcast yet. So yeah, so you can just check that out there. And I put a schedule in there for new subscribers if they want to know when my posts usually go out, because you can subscribe. I have it set up for you to, you can subscribe to Monday's post, which is sewing, quilting, crochet, those kind of things, fiber related stuff. And then Wednesdays is when I do my DIY or gardening or organization type posts. And then Fridays is when I post recipes or things about health. Sometimes I post things about thyroid cancer, but I didn't do that this past month, even though it was thyroid cancer awareness month. I've done several of them, and I've posted my story on there too about my journey with thyroid cancer, so that is on the blog if you want to check it out. But anyway, Fridays is recipes, health, and life lived posts. Like, just, you never know what I'm going to post on a Friday, but that's typically what it is. So you can subscribe to just Monday, just Wednesday, just Friday, or you can subscribe to a Friday kind of roundup of the posts, or to get them every day that I post. So there's different options for sign up. So and then usually during the month I have the second Monday is usually for any quilt-alongs, sew-alongs, crochet-alongs I have going. Right now I'm doing the Merry Christmas sew-along with Monique from Farmhouse Quilts. I posted in September my second ornament, and her second ornament comes out this Monday in October. So you can be sure to check that out. There's a page on my blog with all the links to everything, and we have a Facebook group. There's prizes this year, so you can make sure you check that out if you're interested in ornaments. There's been the two that I've done had a little free motion sewing, some beadwork, and a little bit of applique and embroidery. Monique's first ornament was kind of a patchwork long stocking. So our theme this year is kind of Scandinavian Christmas, red and white ornaments, but some other colors sneak in there sometimes. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and like I said, there are prizes this year, so be sure to check that out. The third Tuesday, I do the Pinterest challenge from my Pinter Ventures. It's just where we have kind of like a blog link up where you find something on your Pinterest board to actually do instead of just pinning things. I really like it. It's a lot of fun to go through and find something I've been wanting to do or try and actually do it. And it's fun to see what everybody else does as well, because sometimes, even though nobody knows what the other person's doing, every once in a while there's two bloggers that do the same thing, but it always looks different. So that's really interesting to me. I am not doing. I was doing the Crafty D-Stash challenge, which was the third Monday of the month, but I've missed the last 2 months, and I decided to just take a break from it for the rest of the year because I mean, there must be a reason I keep missing the sign up, right? So I decided to take a break from that for the rest of the year. So I may start that back again next year. I don't know yet. Usually on the third Wednesday of the month I do a garden update, but there hasn't been much to update here lately because it's been too stinking hot outside for me to do any gardening, because I don't like being out there when it's hot. So I'm hoping to get some beds cleaned up and stuff, and I may do one last post before I take a break from doing that till winter's over. Not that we have like a super winter or anything, I just don't do that much out there when it gets colder. So yeah. And then the first Friday of the month is supposed to be for Teadoddles Talks interviews or around the town visits, where I like to go visit small businesses and stuff and interview the people. I haven't done that in a little bit. I'm hoping to get back into that. But yeah, I just haven't done that in a little bit. I didn't realize how long it had been since I'd done that till I looked at that. So hopefully that'll be coming back soon. I'm not going to promise. Well, obviously it's not going to come back this month because I'm taking this first Friday off. So, and then the last Monday of the month I usually do a monthly roundup, which is what this is all about. So, I also have my YouTube schedule on there now. Tutorial Tuesday, and then I have Saturday podcasts. Normally the first Saturday of the month is monthly roundup podcast, which is this. Second Saturday, Yarny Goodness podcast. Third Saturday is my Fabric Obsessed podcast, and then the fourth Saturday is my DIY and Thrifty Fun podcast. And this past month I had my very first wildcard podcast. Why is that so hard to say? Because there was a fifth Saturday in the month. And I talked all about my planner system that I just got, my Happy Planner system, which is still currently laying over here because I need to fill it all out. So yeah, that's something else I need to do. Yeah, and all this stuff is, all the schedule stuff is on the blog post. You can check that out if you want to see when something is. I decided to break my podcast up like that because I could talk more about one subject, and it kind of matched my blog posts, how they're broken up by certain things on certain days. So I'm just, if you think that's, do you think that's working out? I think it's working out okay. But maybe I should just talk about whatever I'm doing every Saturday. I don't know. I'm going to keep it like that until maybe somebody says, hey, we'd like to hear about everything you're doing once a week. I don't know. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. Y'all, I feel like I'm just rambling on and on today. I said that this wasn't going to be very long, and it's 15 minutes already, and I hadn't even got past the first portion of the monthly roundup. Anyway, let's keep on going. Life events. So, this past month was a lot of weird things going on. I had a thing going on with my foot, which turned out to be an allergic reaction or possible eczema. Still don't know what caused the allergic reaction. I started getting like itchy, rashy spots in different places on my body as well. I started taking Benadryl at night, which seems to help me sleep better and keep away some of the itchy stuff, because I am off of the prednisone they had put me on. That stuff was making me feel super wired, and didn't agree with my stomach very well, so we'll see how that goes. My foot still looks kind of weird, I'm gonna say. The skin has a alligator texture to me, so yeah, I think that's not ever gonna go away. That's just something I have to kind of monitor and see what makes it worse. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, and my son has had the worst time with his financial aid at the school he's going to. He's going to the Atlanta Art Institute. He started last September, so he's been there a whole year. And ever since he started, we would turn in paperwork for financial aid, and then if he went to sign up for classes for the next quarter, they would say that he still needed to turn in some paperwork, and it would always be the same paperwork over and over again. It's like, what are they doing with the paperwork? Well, he went to register for because he had a break last week, and so this week started the first week of their fall quarter, because they have a quarter system. Well, he went to register for classes, and they said he had a hard hold on his account because none of his schooling had been paid for. It's like, what? Because he has the financial aid that he does, and then I had to do a Parent Plus loan and all that mess. So anyway, they finally got, I don't know what, they have a financial aid. They had to send out part of it to another company when they became a non-profit last year, and they've had nothing but trouble with them because they don't file the paperwork like they're supposed to, and they just cancel paperwork without telling them or telling them why they canceled the paperwork. So yeah, it's not just happening to my son, it's happening to a lot of people up there. So yeah, he finally got word that he could register for classes this week, which he did, and so we're still waiting on some paper he's got to have signed to clear up the rest of it. So hopefully that all gets cleared up way before the end of this month, because that's just ridiculous, you know? Stressing my son out, stressing me out, because I'm just like, you know, this is beyond, you know, just a simple mistake. This is messing with somebody's life, basically, because he's doing everything he's supposed to do, so y'all need to do what you're supposed to do. But anyway, I'm not going to get on that tangent right now. He also had, he's been saving for a new computer. He was building himself a new computer because he had a gaming computer, and he's had it for about 3 years, and of course he played it to death and it was not working anymore. So he saved until he had the amount to buy his parts. He got them ordered, and up there Amazon delivers directly to your door because they have a distribution center in Atlanta. So he got his first package that morning, and then he had to go to work, and then they sent him an email saying that package had been delivered, and that was the one with the expensive stuff in it, right? The components in it to build the computer. And they take a picture and send it with the email showing the box in front of his apartment door. Well, when he got home, it wasn't in front of the door. He went inside. He figured one of his roommates had taken it in. So he went in there and asked them. Nobody had seen it. And so he even knocked on some neighbors' doors to see if they had seen it or what have you. And he, because his apartment's kind of a basement apartment, so it's not super visible. It's not like people can really see it, what's going on from the road or anything. So, yeah, he called Amazon and told them that, you know, the package was not there. He could not find it anywhere because it was delivered on a Sunday. Because up there they deliver on Sundays but not Mondays. And so because normally they leave packages at the front office if it's open. But they weren't open because it was Sunday. Anyway, he called Amazon. Amazon told him that they could either refund the money or send him replacement parts at no charge. So he's like, well, I really need the replacement parts. And then he made sure that, oh, this shirt just feels like it's not sitting right for some reason. Anyway, he made sure that it was delivered on the day he was home. So he did get his replacement parts and everything, but I just thought it was really odd that he's had a lot of things delivered to his door that have come when he wasn't home. None of them have ever went missing until he got that one box that had really expensive stuff in it. So I thought that was just a little bit odd. So I don't know. I'm just glad that he was able to get replacement parts and didn't have to pay for them again. So yeah, he's got his computer all put together and sent me a picture. He was super excited about it, so I'm happy that he got his stuff. So anyway, the other thing that I put in here was about the funky caterpillars on my azalea bush. Which I have lots of azalea bushes in my yard, but I have never seen those caterpillars on them. But apparently they're called azalea caterpillars because they mostly only eat azalea bushes. But there was just masses of them. When I was walking the dog, I was like, oh, what are those? And I opted to wait till it cooled off to go out and just knock them off because I don't like to use chemicals, like, except for natural stuff, if I can help it. And by the time I went back out there, they had stripped down like a whole section of my azalea bush. The leaves were gone. I was like, oh my God. So I basically shook the branch to sling them off, and then I had a brick and I just kind of dropped it on them and smushed them. Yeah, that was kind of gross, but that's just the best way to do it. And then I checked on it every day because obviously I didn't see all of them that got slung off, so I would just go out there every day until I didn't see them anymore and do that. So, but my azalea bush is still okay, and that one's actually one that a couple of years ago we had a big drought over the summer, and it just died. I thought it had completely died because all its leaves fell off, and it looked like it was wintertime or something. But I cut down all the stems, and eventually it grew back, and it's actually almost as big as it was when that happened. So I have never seen those worms on any of my bushes though, so that was really strange. Then I had a couple pictures of a tree frog on my rose bush and this humongous dragonfly that was laying on the top of my trash bin. It was dead. I thought it was odd that it was just laying there, but it was huge. It was huge. Dragonflies are so cool. I love them. In case you didn't know, they like to eat gnats. You may not live in a place that has gnats, but I do. So if I'm ever outside and gnats are bugging me, and I start hearing a bzz, bzz, it's a dragonfly, I'm always happy to see him because the gnats will disappear quite quickly after that because he'll eat them all. So, he actually posted a little video on my Instagram a while back where one landed on my leg, and he had caught a gnat and was eating it, and it was so cool. It was just cool to see that. So dragonflies are awesome. Okay, so then we move on to crafty news. I ordered a stamp. I am going to show y'all that. I was super excited about it. I got it from Saya Bell Stamps on Etsy. It was a custom-made stamp, a little logo I designed for myself. I designed it in PicMonkey. I use PicMonkey to edit all my pictures and stuff because it's pretty cheap, and I think it works pretty good for what I got to do. So, but this is the stamp. It's going to look backwards because it's a stamp, but yeah, it's got Teadoddles in it. And I just used some images that they have and made that. I thought it looked kind of like a ball of yarn or something. But, yeah, Saya Bell. Did you say a bell? Yeah, Saya Bell Stamps is where I got that from. They will mount it. I got one of those. This was a cling one that I can use with my acrylic block. But they will mount it on a wood handle if you want. And they have different sizes to choose from and stuff. And then you just email them your, like I just emailed them a PNG file of it. And they'll send you a proof to show you what it's going to look like, and then you can just say okay, and they send it to you. So yeah, I got it because I wanted labels. Y'all, I never put labels on anything I make. Like, it's a rare thing for me to put labels on stuff, which I really should be doing. And I thought about ordering some labels to sew into like quilts or tags to put on crochet, because crochet, and I still may do that for crochet, because that's not something you can really, yeah, you can sew a label in it, but it's just, I've seen some little leather tags I thought were neat. But anyway, I decided to get a stamp because I can stamp this and the tags for bags and everything, as long as I use a fabric, an ink that won't wash out, and then I can use this way more times than if I ordered labels, because I can only use them till they're gone and then I have to order more. So that's why I opted for a stamp. I can also use it for tags and things like that. So I'm happy with it so far. I've used it once already. I'll show you in a minute on one of my DIY projects I did this week. So, and then I talked about the 2 shirts I got, which this is one of them, and the hashtag DIY life one I got, I wore in my last video. If you want to see that, I got them from Sense of Style. And Sense of Style is an affiliate of mine on the blog. They were one of my first affiliates. I used to do, like, you could sign up to do blog posts and they would send you free, like, the item they wanted you to do a blog post about. You would get it for free and then you could do that. But then they got, like, a bunch of people, I guess, sign up, and you may or may not get to do the post. So eventually I just stopped doing it because I'm not really a fashion blog. So I still like their stuff though. These shirts are really nice. They're super soft. They wash really well. They don't fade. I have some in there that I've had for a couple of years now, and they still look great. And they're always soft, and they're longer too. Like, they're a longer shirt. They're not like some t-shirts, or I have a long waist, so sometimes shirts are just too short. But I really like them. They're very comfortable and soft. And they wear really well. So and I did post that on Facebook. So when I see stuff like that, I like to post it. I think I posted a while back, they had a sale on their blanket scarves. I love their blanket scarves. They're just awesome. So yeah, you may see me post about it sometimes when they have a sale that I like. So you can check out my Facebook page for that. Merry Christmas Sew Along is in sewing news, but I already talked about that. So I showed off some of my sewing finishes, which was the shirt that I made. I wore that in a recent podcast. I think it was my last sewing podcast. Maybe? Yeah, I feel like I wore it in that, my last Fabric Obsessed podcast. So you can check that out to see that. And I did start talking about the maker bags. I'm going to show you the one I've made so far. This is, I'm making these, you can see how big this is. It's pretty big. Because actually this portion is 15 by 15, and then I added probably about 6 inches here. I'm gonna cut that down just a little bit, but I made these because when you crochet and you have a big blanket project, or you're using bulky yarn, the project bags that I see most of the time are just small. Like, they're small, which a crocheter may could use that for a hat or a scarf or something, but they don't tend to have, and they may have a little bit bigger ones, which may work okay for a sweater. It depends. So they're mostly for knitters is what I've noticed, the project bags that I've seen the most. So I just wanted a bag that was bigger, right? That I could put a whole blanket in, or a whole big sweater if I wanted to. And I made this out of, this is like velvet upholstery material. It was some of my thrifted fabric, and this is left over from a coat I made. Actually, I didn't make a coat with it. I did something else with it, but it was supposed to be for a coat. But anyway, and then on the inside I did show this off. I don't think I had it finished though in my Fabric Obsessed podcast. So I put this little tab in there because I felt like you could hang your keys there if you have one of those clip things, or you could even put one of those book rings in there and keep some stitch markers on there. And I did put a pocket. It has a pocket on each side, and then 2 skinny things in the middle where you could put a crochet hook or a pencil pen to mark with. So yeah, and that fabric on the inside is from Tim Holtz. It's called, what is it called? Correspondence. It's from his Correspondence line of fabric. I found it like 60% off or something at Joann's one time, and I got a bunch of it. So anyway, so I designed this so that when it's the drawstrings out, you can fold over the top like that. The only thing is, I thought this would stand up more by itself because it has that upholstery fabric in it, but it does not. It like collapses on itself. So I'm going to be making some more of these this weekend. I bought this just at Walmart to try out. It's called Craft Fuse. It's an iron-on for crisp hand and added body. So I'm hoping that this will work, because this will be super easy if I can just iron it on. I think this is 15 inches by 4 yards. It was like right at $6. So we will see how it works, because I have to figure that into the price of any bags, because I do intend, I think I'm just going to go ahead and open an Etsy shop to sell these on. That's another reason I took the long weekend, because I need to work on these so I can get that open. I'm going to be posting more pictures on Instagram this weekend about what I'm doing. So, that's my deaf dog talking. She does that sometimes when she sees you holding things and it's like, what are you doing? So, anywho. And I also showed a one with a zipper in. It's actually a picture of one I made a while back. So I'm thinking about putting a zippered pouch pocket in here as well as the other pockets. So, because for this one I didn't put handles, but I'm thinking about putting handles here. Like the handles would be in here, but that won't work. But, or the handles, hold on y'all. Okay, I had to go settle down my dog because, I don't know, she wakes up from her naps. She takes naps all the time. She just starts barking. I don't know why. I don't know what she thinks is going on, but she'll just start barking. So, let me readjust. I can't see my rolls quite so much. Anyway, so what I was saying is I plan to have some zippered versions of this. I don't know, what do y'all think? Should this have a handle on it beyond the drawstring? Because this kind of works like a handle when it's drawn up, because I don't imagine you'll be toting it around unless it's closed, but because it really is a project bag. I see a lot of them with drawstrings, so I don't know. What do y'all think? I'd like feedback, please. Because I also made this, I did a tutorial video about this one, this little gnome bag I made that I just did the single loop in, which I don't really, I'm wishing I had done the double loop like I did in that one, but it still works. And I got my cute fabric, so I'm not too worried about that. But this is just a basic little small pouch for projects. It could be used for embroidery projects as well. So I would really like some feedback on that. If anybody watching has any ideas or any thoughts on project bags, please feel free to let me know in the comments, okay? We're going to move right along. Alright, so I did show some more pictures about my fabric dyeing, which I did that on Fabric Obsessed podcast, so I'm not going to pull that down again. I haven't done any more dyeing since that, so I'm hoping to get some of that done this weekend. Y'all, so much to do. I did show you all my zippers that I got from Zip It. Zip It zippers on Etsy. I'm excited about that. So that's for, of course, for the project bags and stuff I'm planning on making. I'm also planning on, I do these little totes like this. These are just made with the charm squares. I'm thinking about eliminating this row of charm squares, just doing a solid bottom. And I usually use, well, this is recycled ribbon from a blanket. You know, you get those blankets at the store. A lot of times they have that ribbon on them. So that's what that is. But I'm planning on, I like the gross grain handles because they're pretty good, and also because I don't have to make handles. Not that it's hard to do. It's just more fabric. So this is another kind of bag. Oh, and this is a tote. It doesn't have a closed top or anything like that. I do usually try to put a pocket in it. That one does not have a pocket in it. So I went on to new purchases, and all the new purchases for fabric I'll be showing in my Fabric Obsessed podcast. Unless it was some that I showed in my last Fabric Obsessed podcast. So I'm not going to go over all of that. I have put myself on a fabric and yarn diet. When I say diet because that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to purchase it at all. I'm just trying to tone it down a bit, right? To get some, make up some of the stuff. I'm running out of storage room, so I need to make some stuff, right? I'm trying to only buy things if I absolutely need it. At least until November when the Black Friday sales hit, because I know there's going to be some deals that I just can't resist. So we'll see how all that goes. I put a couple of things on my wish list on there. I really love the Merriment Eclectic Elements by Tim Holtz. I love most of his fabrics. Have a vintagey kind of steampunky feel to me that I love. But this is a Christmas line of his I love. And then I am absolutely in love with the Autumn Vibes collection from Maureen Cracknell. I love it. And she has a quilt pattern she did, and I want to make that quilt. So, I do have a birthday this month, so maybe that'll be an extra special birthday treat to myself. I don't know. We'll see. Because a lot of times I'll see a pattern for a quilt, and I may not want to use the same fabrics, but for that one I want the quilt, I want it to look exactly like that. I want to use those fabrics. It's awesome looking. So, and in crochet news, I talked about finishes there. Of course, I finished my pixel and lace scarf, which I've already talked about before on my Yarny Goodness podcast. And that pattern is on the blog, and plus I have 2 tutorial videos to go with it. It's a 2-part tutorial video and a 2-part blog post. So you can check out that if you want. It is a free pattern. I am working on another pattern I hope to have released fairly soon, because I wanted it for Halloween, and I worked on it a little bit, but it wasn't quite working out like I thought. So I just gotta practice on that a little bit. So then I also showed this finish, which technically I gotta weave in the ends, and like I said, I'll talk more about these in my Yarny Goodness podcast. So let's go like this. Ooh, that's really bright in there. And fold over somehow like this to have buttons on it. This is a Red Heart yarn, and I almost I had to skip a couple rows in there because I didn't think I was going to have enough to finish. And I may have had enough for one more row, but I don't think I had enough for all the rows that were in it. So, yeah, I'll talk more about what I made that with in my Yarny Goodness podcast coming up. But those are two. And I have a lot of works in progresses going because I'm trying to do some of the stuff from the the Holiday Stash Down put on by Underground Crafter. They just have a different one every month, every week, a different pattern, and it's supposed to be helping you get stuff done for Christmas presents. They have a lot of variety. They've had a hat and a scarf, and I think they have a second hat now, and that cowl, that purpley thing I just showed is part of it. Got fuzz in my mouth now. So, yeah. And then they also have a Halloween crochet along going on over there, which I really want to make some of those too. There's just not enough time in the day. So much to do and so little time. Anyway, y'all, I think I could have a whole month off and still not get everything done that I want to do. So, anyway, and I am still working on my crocodile stitch poncho. And I did not finish my alicorn scarf in time for the end of September because that was the one with the thyroid cancer survivor colors in it. But I'm still working on it. It's just, you know, it starts out tiny and it works pretty fast until you get wider and then the rows get longer. So, you know, anybody who's made a asymmetrical scarf or shawl, yeah. So, I'm still working on that. Talked a little bit about some upcoming projects, and the things that I got from my yarn clubs this month. I'm still in the Mary Maxim Crochet Club, the Darn Good Yarn Club, and the Jimmy Beans Wool Crochet Club. So, I'm enjoying all of those still. I did sign up for a, sorry about that, that was my computer. It turned the volume off. I did sign up for the Geeky Stitching Club, which I'll be talking about in my Fabric Obsessed podcast as a cross stitch club. It's pretty cool. Again, I'm not going to talk about the new purchases. And y'all, I made these new purchases before I put myself on a diet, just so you know, in my fabric and my yarn section. So I will talk, some of them I talked about in my last Yarny Goodness podcast, so I will talk about those new ones in the upcoming Yarny Goodness podcast for next week. Y'all, I'm trying to get done. I said this wasn't going to be as long. I'm at like 43 minutes already. Anyway, so in my DIY news, I talked about a project I was going to do, and I actually did that this past Wednesday on the blog. Oh my goodness. I had all my stuff in it. And I made over this little wood container that I got. I liked the grain on the wood, so I left it like that, and then I painted, kind of did a distressed chalk paint on the inside, and the gold, my extreme sheen paint that I'm loving so much. And then this is what I was going to show y'all. I used my stamp for the first time on the bottom of this. I added some extra curly cues and things, just because I like that. Man, that just made the color go all crazy. But yeah, so I really like the way this turned out. Just a little something extra special under the bottom. So I don't know what I'm going to use this for yet. I may just sell it. I don't know. But you can see the blog post about it. I'll link to that. Oh, things falling off, y'all. Things are falling apart quickly. So, and I did post a little bit about some more another upcoming project and all the new things I've gotten for DIY, which I did show that in my last DIY and Thrifty Fun podcast. So I'm not going to go over that again. Yeah, I think that's about it for this monthly roundup. If you feel like I missed something that's in the blog post, you can certainly ask me about it. You can email me, which is going to be down in the description, or you can just put a comment down below. Yeah, I think I'm going to be done with this because I'm going to have to edit this and wait forever for it to upload. So I just wish I had better internet service because maybe it wouldn't take so long for that to happen. But anywho, I think I'm gonna let y'all go, and I will see y'all next week. I will still do a tutorial Tuesday this week. I don't know what about yet, so if you got any ideas about that, you can let me know down below too. If you like this, you can give it a thumbs up. Think about subscribing, and I will see y'all next time.